You are listening to the Life in Attleboro podcast, where we interview the city's most interesting people who are making a positive difference in our community. Hey everyone, I'm the host of the Life in Attleboro podcast, Mike Sullivan. Sometimes you can tell how genuine and kind someone's soul is seconds after you start speaking with them. And that is exactly how I felt during my discussion with David Payson. David is quickly becoming a positive presence, amazing mentor, and legend at Attleboro High School. Enjoy episode 51 of the Life in Attleboro podcast. Okay, joining me now is a man by the name of David Payson. David is a retired police officer who served more than 25 years on the force, and the students at Attleboro High School love this guy. In fact, a student actually reached out to me and recommended David as a guest. That student was Elmer, who I actually had on the podcast earlier, so make sure you check out that episode. But David, I want to thank you for being a guest on the Life in Attleboro podcast.
Oh, thank you, Mike. You're welcome. Glad to be here.
First of all, I just want to start with this. Tell us what you do at the high school.
As you mentioned, I'm a retired police officer, more than 25 years experience. And during that time as a police officer, I had many roles. A patrol officer, and I also was lucky enough to be the school resource officer, dare officer, detective, and retired as the rank of sergeant of the Collin Police Department. But my job is very similar to being a police officer in the town of where I policed, as far as now my town is the high school in the city of Attleboro. It comprises about 2,200 students with guests, visitors, staff, things going on every day. So basically it's a small city. I should mention there's 4 of us there as well. We're known as school security monitors.
Okay.
And our main function of going around the school is just basically make sure the school is safe all day. So it opens at 6:45 in the morning, and then we leave at 2:30, but stuff does go on in the evening as well. So I come in at 6:45. I usually greet the students at the rear door when the doors open. And for some reason, fist pumps is what they want. So I give them fist pumps. I must probably do 10,000 fist pumps a day, which is great. I'm just greeting them every day. If I know their name, I greet them with their name. So right away, I start with the positive interaction as soon as they enter that school. And then once they come into school, I go and I monitor the bathroom. One of my duties is monitoring the bathrooms, just to make sure everybody does the expected behavior that's laid out that the school expects from when they're in the school. And then at 7:15, one of the vice principals assigned me to the tardies. So at 7:15, whoever comes in tardy, Mr. Rivera has to let him in the front door, and then I sign him in. So then once that's done, after I do my tardies, I go and I start my rounds. So I usually start with checking the exterior doors to make sure they're all locked, as well as the other 2 monitors as well. And then just make your rounds and you start walking the halls. So I see a student walk down the hall. I greet every student, every staff member. If I know their name, I'll use it. So I'll be like, "Good morning, Mike. How you doing today?"
Yeah.
And they'll respond, "Dave, how are you?" "Good." "What class you in?" "Mrs. Smith's algebra class." "How's that going?" "Learning how to do algebra," whatever. I said, I remember those days. That was fun. And then just look at me and giggle. And that's how I just interact with them, assess them. And I tell the kids, I said, I'm giving you the responsibility to do the right thing all the time until I cannot have given you that responsibility. So you start every day at 10, and then it goes down from there. As long as you're doing what's the expected behavior, and that's it. And most of the time, it's just a redirection of a task. "Hey, Johnny, should you be running down the hall?" Something simple like that. "Oh, you're right, Dave. I'm sorry. All right, make sure you walk safely. I don't want to see you get hurt. I don't want to see you knock your friend over." "You're right, Dave. I'm sorry." And it's just that simple. A lot of kids say the kindness. I talk to them. Like I said, I don't raise my voice. As much as you and I are talking like that, that's all I do. It's that simple, positive, calm, fatherly voice or role that I play.
Yeah. Good stuff, David.
Yep.
It's almost like I was going to ask you about your approach, but you touched on that, so thank you. So
yeah,
all of the training and all of the years as a police officer involved some type of de-escalation, and it sounds like you never want to escalate anything in your approach.
Yeah, and that's the key word they use. I'm glad you touched on that. And that's really my role. Like I said, is to de-escalate, redirect the students. And again, I just do that constantly all day. But that's the reason why we're there, because there is a principal, Miss Campbell, as I know. And under her, there is 4 assistant principals, because they have 4 houses for all the students.
Okay.
And then underneath that, they have several associate principals and staff. So it is a very team approach, team effort. No one can do it alone, but we need everybody to do it every day. And then with that, you get support. So if let's say I catch a student that's not, like I said, doing the expected behavior, most of the time my redirection will solve that problem. And then I'll have a conversation with the assistant principal later on just to let them know. And then if I need to have an assistant principal support me, I simply radio them on the radio, and they come and they support me, and I tell them what I observe, because they can't be everywhere. So essentially, we're the eyes and ears of the school. We walk around the school. So you hear something, you see something, you address it. Again, you redirect the students as needed, and then you let the principals know what you saw, what you observed, and then they'll take it from there if something else needs to be done. Because they know more of the ins and outs of how the school works and things of that structure.
Excellent.
Yep.
So why did you want to take on this role at the high school?
I guess it's in my nature. Like I briefly touched upon it. I was 21 years old when I first wanted to become in law enforcement.
Okay.
So I was working at Almax. I'll bring that up. And I was working with the public, and I just decided I want to be a police officer. So I started putting myself through the Community College of Rhode Island, taking criminal justice classes. I got a job at Johnson Wales University in Providence. Started taking police tests. I don't want to say I guess you can say I was just born for this role. I wanted to be in more. I wanted to help people. That's what I've always wanted to do. I can't explain it. I don't know where it came from, but I guess that's my calling, as they say. Yeah, lucky enough, in 1995, I got hired in the town of Barrington as a police officer. And then I stayed there for 5 years. And I came over to the town of Cumberland. And I stayed there for almost 20 years there, a little over 20 years.
Wow.
And during those roles, too, again, I have 2 children. Now they're both adults. My daughter's 30. She's a nurse.
Okay.
My son's 27. He's an engineer. He's got 3 kids, so I'm a grandfather.
Congratulations.
And then growing up, same thing with my kids. I was my daughter's umpire for her softball. I was my son's soccer coach, my daughter's soccer coach, my son's baseball coach, my son's basketball coach.
Wow.
So I'm always involved, just always want to give back and try to be the best role model that I can be. And then this role just seemed to fit me. After 25 years of being a police officer, like I said, it's very similar to being a police officer. My geographic area now is contained to one building with 2,200 students and staff as opposed to a town.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think the students and your fellow staff have recognized a lot of these great qualities in you, sir. And that's why you received a very special honor. And receiving that actually brought you to tears during your acceptance speech. Can you share that experience with us?
Yeah. So every year, again, I'm starting to tear up right now.
It's okay. You're a good man, David.
So again, every year, students dedicate their yearbook to a staff member. So again, they honored, it was the first time that they honored 2 teachers. A lot of kids will think I'm a teacher, but I'm not. I'm really staff.
Sure.
Because a lot of kids, when they first meet me, what class do you teach? I'm like, I don't teach. I said, I'm a home monitor. I said, oh, okay. So the first time they meet me, they don't know that. And the kids get to know that. So there was a teacher there who was recovering from cancer. So the students wanted to honor her. And then they chose me as the other one.
That's so special. You have the heart of a teacher, Dave. You do.
Anyway, but I didn't know that. So they invited me into the auditorium.
Oh, that's great.
And surprised me with it.
Oh, that's great. So great.
And I had no idea.
Yeah. And I actually saw a video of you receive that award, and I could hear the students chanting your name, which was just so cool. It's just, obviously you mean a lot to the kids, so you're doing something really special, David. So I appreciate you sharing that and opening up with us.
And I told the kids I tried to speak. I said, the only 2 times in my life I couldn't speak was then, and then when my father passed away because I couldn't speak. But on that, I'm not usually short on words.
Yeah.
But anyways, but it's more than that. Like I told you, I chaperone their prom. I go to their prom, senior and junior prom. Yeah. I attend their basketball games.
Incredible. I think I know the answer to this, but what do the kids at the high school mean to you? They feel like children.
Everything. It's like I tell these kids, I just treat them as if they were my kid.
Yeah.
They were my son, or my daughter. How can you go wrong with that? Give them the advice I think they should get. Redirect them the best I can. Remind them why they're in high school, why they need to be here, why it's important to get an education, why they're going to do the right thing, because sooner or later it's going to come up to you and next year you're going to be an adult. I'm like, what am I going to do? All these teachers, like I said, my wife's a teacher. Been teaching for 16 years.
Wow.
And I thought I had an understanding and respect for teachers just by her working in a school.
Yeah.
I come in now, I'm working physically in a high school, and I'm like, these teachers are amazing. They have to deal with these students as far as teaching them for 80-minute blocks, 180 days a year, and trying to make sure these kids are focused, getting and accomplishing their education. And it's not easy. That's why a lot of the kids will come out into the hallways because they need a break. And I get that. And that's a lot of times to be a home monitor, like you said, you have to have patience. You have to have understanding. And I get why they're in the hallway after 20 minutes of 8 o'clock in the morning. They're being talked to someone about geometry. So they need a break. But again, I understand that. And like I said, these kids, they just need a break. They come out of the hallway, do what's expected, go back. Like I said, it's a rewarding. So this job is so rewarding. Just the fact that kids will seek me out for advice. Other kids, I think I told you, if not, last time, a couple weeks ago, I got reached out on the Facebook page. Because a part of their high school 101 class, they have to interview someone who's successful. So 9 boys chose me. So we sat in a group around a table and they all asked me their questions. That's awesome. And the kids will ask me the same question you asked me, like, why did you want to be a home monitor? I guess it comes natural. It just came natural to me. Yeah. And I knew it was going to be a rewarding role. I wanted to be interactive, I like to be involved. Like I said, I go to their basketball games when I can. After school, I work out in the gym. I work out with the kids. Some part of the community, they'll come to me for snacks. I have snacks that I hand out for the kids. Some kids are rushing around in the morning, are just not able to get breakfast. So I give them snacks. Like I said, I work closely with the teachers and the staff. Everybody supports each other. So that's the reason why I'm as successful as I am, because of the support I have around me. A lot of the teachers actually I do know just from being in this area. And I grew up in Cumberland, lived in Mass for a short time. Now I live back in Lincoln. So I know people, if not people who know people. So it's a rewarding job, very fulfilling job. You get to work with great individuals at the high school, even great guests. Ted Nisi came in the other day and spoke to the students about writing. I believe it was some type of paper about an unsung hero. He's a reporter with Channel 12 in Providence.
Correct.
They got the bistro. They got the CTE school. Like the kids even do my car. So because it's an automotive school, the kids will service my car. They do the oil changes. They do the brakes. They do the tires. So they're amazing too. I don't know how I even can shout out all this stuff like that. But like I said, that's why it's a whole community. That's basically what it is.
Good for you. So, I have a great feeling that you are a tremendous mentor. So if a student at the high school is listening to this episode right now, what would your overall message be to them?
I touched on it already. It's important. They all say they're not getting paid with money. It's no, but you're getting paid with knowledge. I said the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, as well as any other states, feel that you need at least 12 years or at least a high school diploma to be successful in this world today. And then after that, you can choose to do what you choose. You want to. As far as continuing on your education, whether it be through a trade school, college, or whatever. I would just tell them, come in, just do what's expected. And a lot of kids will ask me, like, oh, Dave, you remember how to do this math? And I'm like, no, that was 38 years ago. I said, I don't remember that. The kids do get amazed at how old I am and how young I look. I'm going to be 57 years old in August. And the kids are like, wow.
I will second that. As we sit virtually across the table from each other, I would not expect that you would be 57.
But again, I tell them, I go, this is the result of me taking care of my body, getting sleep every day, trying to stay fit. Like I said, I try to stay fit. I was running for a while. Almost probably for the last 5 years, I don't run anymore. I just use an elliptical, simply because I want to save my knees.
Yes.
That's the only thing. But I enjoyed running for 40 years. Just go out and do some running. Constantly work out. I've gone now to resistance bands, exercises, and things of that nature, as opposed to free weights.
Yeah.
But that being said, that's why I said I'm an example of, and that's why I think they choose me as a success, because I am an individual of success. I graduated high school, was able to become a police officer. It took 7 years of competitiveness, competing with other people. Rose through the ranks, did other jobs like I expressed to you already. I was a detective, lucky enough to be a detective for a year. Selected to be a use and force instructor. I was a taser instructor. I volunteered at the academy for use and force instructor, taser instructor. I was a rad instructor. The chiefs that also hired me saw, I guess, the opportunity or the goodness of me as well, and gave me those opportunities to also do that in the police departments that I worked in. And again, just gave back. I got in because it took me such a long time, earned it, and I wanted to give back because I'm just dedicated. I want to make sure that it carries on.
David Payson, a legendary staff member at Attleboro High School. It is people like you who make a difference in our community. So thank you so much for what you do. And thank you so much for being a guest on the Life in Attleboro podcast. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. You as well. Thank you, Mike.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
After I stopped recording, David and I continued speaking for another 10 minutes or so, and I told him that I hope he's still at Attleboro High School when my children get there. What an amazing man. To me, David is the definition of success. Hey, I want to tell you about our new sponsor, Hoban Accounting Services. If you're a small business owner, you know how much of a hassle it can be to keep track of every penny earned and every penny spent. But thankfully, Hoban Accounting Services is on a mission to heal your headaches and fizzle your frustration when it comes to crunching those pesky numbers. Hoban Accounting Services has helped local businesses for more than 7 years. That's when Nicole Hoban, a proud mother of twin girls, launched her business. She's a QuickBooks Pro Advisor with tons of awards to her name. If you mention the Life in Attleboro podcast, you'll get 10% off for your first 6 months. If you'd like to support a small business owner in our city, just tap the link in the show notes of this episode and Nicole will be in touch. Hoban Accounting Services. A great bookkeeper should be an asset, not an expense. More than 1,200 people have signed up for the Life in Attleboro email list. We send one email every Friday. It includes exclusive offers from our sponsors, early access to every new podcast episode, and you'll stay in the know about cool events in our great city. Just go to lifeinattleboro.com and you'll see the sign-up display right there on the homepage. You'll also see the sign-up button at the top of our Life in Attleboro Facebook page. And if you know someone who would make a great guest on our podcast, please shoot us an email at lifeinattleboro@gmail.com. Life in Attleboro is a great thing. Support our community, promote positivity, and make a stranger smile. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Life in Attleboro podcast.